What's up everyone, my name's Luke and today we're going to be talking about the original Onewheel Pint and how you can transform it into an insane trick board with Pint X bumpers. So what's incredible about the Onewheel Pint and the Pint X is they share identical thread positions. So what this means is you can put Pint X bumpers on your Pint and take it to a whole new level. The main key difference between Pint X bumpers and Pint bumpers is because the Pint X had a bigger battery, to create more appealing symmetry, what they did is put a thicker bumper on the front. Now that's insane for tricks and I'm going to tell you why. Stock Onewheel Pint bumpers are completely flush with the underside of the rails. Now what this means is if you do a curb nudge or a curb slide, what happens is you just destroy the underside of your rails. Now I learned this the hard way. As you can see, my rails were really scratched. But what Onewheel have done is by creating Pint X bumpers, this solves that problem. Comparing the Pint stock bumpers to Pint X bumpers, the main key difference which is really important for tricks is the thickness. These Pint X bumpers cover the underside of the rails and they're much thicker, so they're going to last a lot longer when it comes to tricks, and it's protecting your board more. The threads in the Pint X bumpers are recessed, and what this means is you've got a lot of wear room before you're going to be hitting the threads, whereas because the original Pint bumpers were flush with the rails, you hit those threads immediately. Now this is an insane upgrade and it's so important for trick riders like myself that we're not going to be burning through bumpers so fast. So the way I've set up my Onewheel Pint to optimize its trick capabilities to the highest standard as possible is I've put a Pint X bumper on the front, but I've left a Pint stock bumper on the back. Now there's two reasons why I've done this. The first reason is due to the Pint having a much smaller battery than the Pint X, the Pint has a completely flush battery module to the rails, whereas the Pint X sticks out, so it does need that bigger bumper. But the reason why I've left it stock at the back is it gives you the most amount of tail clearance as possible, which is much better if you're doing steep declines on the trails, and even for curb nudges, means you can get your tail even lower and get your nose higher so you can climb up higher curbs. What this does mean though is the underside of your rails are still exposed at the back. Now for me personally, because I'm an experienced rider, I really never clip the tail, but if you're a beginner, this may be something you want to be careful of because you don't want to be coming off curbs, slamming your tail and damaging the battery module. So it's one thing to consider, but considering what you get out of these bumpers, it's totally worth it. The only time I encounter issues when I hit the underside of the rear rails is when I'm doing a blunt over a curb, but I don't do this that often because of that reason. So if I wanted to do those tricks, I'd do it on an XR with bang or butter bumpers. So the reason why I've put the Pint X bumper just on the front of my board is, as we've already discussed, I want more tail clearance and as much as I can get out of this board. But the trick capabilities that this unlocks are next level. These bumpers allow me to do nose drags, nose slides, curb nudges, but what it does is even though I'm losing a bit of clearance, it just gives me more confidence that I can ride harder because I know my board is more protected because you've got thicker plastic here and I'm not ruining the underside of my rails. Yes, you are losing clearance, but for me personally, it's actually made this board feel more like a trick board because when I ride with the XRs, you know, I've got bang or butter bumpers, so I know I've got that extra protection, but with the Pint I didn't. So now with these, it's unlocked a whole new level. Pint X bumpers have a huge advantage over stock Pint bumpers when it comes to nose drags. The nature of a nose drag means that the front of your nose is going to be grinding along the tarmac, and that obviously means it's going to wear it out faster. So by having additional plastic means you're going to get more drags out of these bumpers than you would with the stock board. I also really like the way this board slides because the whole underside of my board is now plastic instead of having plastic and then metal rails on the side. Not only is it causing no damage to my actual board, but it slides so much better because you're sliding on just pure plastic, and when you wax up a curb, it's so fun. Also from the curb nudge perspective, doing a curb nudge on the pure plastic feels so much better than doing it with the plastic and the metal rails on the side because you know in your head that you're not damaging the board. So thank you for watching this video and I really hope you enjoyed it. And what I've learnt from this is how the Pint is still so relevant in 2022. You know, we've got the Pint X, XRs and GTs, and this is their lowest spec board. You know, it doesn't go as far and it's not as fast, but it's also the best entry level board. And what this has really shown to me how it's not just an entry level board. This can be a pro board. If you put these bumpers on it, it's now insane at tricks, and it's really reignited my love with how amazing pints can be. You know, pints rock and they're so much fun to ride, and with these bumpers it takes it to a whole new level and you guys are going to love it. So if you did enjoy my video, I'd really appreciate a like and subscribe, and I'm going to catch you guys in the next one.